Hi children, welcome back. Now we are starting with a new chapter, that is chapter 12, Smart Charts. In this chapter we will be learning how to represent informations in different ways. That is how to represent the data. Sometimes we collect data for many purposes, isn't it? We collect data for many purposes. But what happens is, after collecting it becomes confusing for us. So to make it more easier, we represent it in different ways. So these are the different ways that we can know. In smaller classes you have learned, you represent it in the form of pictures. Now when you come to higher classes, you have different ways. In this video we will be learning how to represent it in the form of a bar graph, circle graph and line graph. Okay. Now before learning how to represent, first you have to know what is the data. Data means it is a collection of information. You collect information on some particular matter or some topic. A collection of information is called a data. The collection of information is called data. There are different ways to represent data. First one is a pictograph. In your smaller classes you have learned. Your pictograph is used to represent information in the form of pictures. You had pictures in the data. Sometimes they will tell you one picture showing 5 people, like that. So using that pictures we used to understand the data and we used to answer the questions for that. So that is known as pictograph. A pictograph is used to represent information in the form of pictures. Next we have bar graph. What is a bar graph? A bar graph is used to represent information in the form of bars. Like rectangular bars. Bar graph is used to represent information in the form of bars. Have you seen bars anywhere? In the windows and all you can see the bars, the shape of a rectangle. So we will do a question based on that. Look at the smart chart and answer the following. The below bar graph shows the number of students voted on which monument to visit. They are going for a trip. Okay, so the teacher is asking them to which monument they want to visit. So many students gave different places. So in that they took an information on that. That is the information that they are showing on the bar graph. The number of students voted on which monument they want to visit. So we will just have a look on the bar graph now. This is bar graph. See, the graph is represented in the form of bars. Rectangular bars in the shape of a rectangle. This is the horizontal line, we call it as the x-axis, and the vertical line you call it as the y-axis. Higher classes when you go you will be hearing of these words, x-axis and y-axis. So to represent the data we have a horizontal line and a vertical line. In the horizontal line they are showing you the information, historical monuments. Which all monuments they want to go? Qutub Minar, Old Fort, Humayun's Tomb, Red Fort and India Gate. And here is the number of votes given by each student. So how many students wanted to go to Qutub Minar? 6 students. For Old Fort, 8 votes. Okay. Humayun's Tomb, 10 students wanted to go. Red Fort, 8. India's Gate, 12. So this is the information that we have got it from the bar graph. Now we will answer the questions given from this. How many students voted for Old Fort? Old Fort, this is Old Fort. How many students? 8. So the answer is 8 over here. How many students voted for Red Fort? Red Fort. There are also 8 students. So write 8 here. How many students voted for India Gate? That is 12. So write 12. So looking at the bar graph, we are answering the questions. Which monument was liked by the maximum number of students? Which monument? Maximum number of students? Yes, we have India Gate with 12 number of students. So the answer is India Gate. Okay. Which monument got the least number of votes? Which monument least number? You have 6 here, that is Qutub Minar. So the answer is Qutub Minar. Next, which 2 monuments got the same number of votes? Which 2 monuments got the same number of votes? Which 2? You can see 2 monuments with 8 votes, that is Old Fort and Red Fort. So the answer is Old Fort and Red Fort. Okay. Next, how many students voted in all? How many students voted in all? So you have to add 6, 8, then you have 10, again 8 and then 12. So 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus again 8 plus 12. So what do you get? 8 plus 8 you get 16, 16 plus 6 you get 22, 22 plus 10 you get 32, 32 plus 12 you get 44. So how many students are going for the trip? 44 students. How many students voted in all? That is 44. Once again, 6 plus 8 14, 14 plus 8 you get 22, 22 plus 10 you get 32, 32 plus 12 you get 44. What is the difference in the number of votes for Humayun's tomb and India's gate? So first you have to check Humayun's tomb, how many votes? Humayun's tomb got 10 and India's gate 12. So what is the difference between them? 12 minus 10, that is 2. Humayun's tomb is 10 and India's gate is 12. So answer is 12 minus 10, that is equal to 2 votes. Difference is, what is the difference in the number of votes for Humayun's tomb and India's gate? That is 12 minus 10, that is equal to 2 votes. Okay. So this is a bar graph. That bar graph is showing the number of votes students gave for visiting the monuments. Now looking into the bar graph, we have answered these questions. Okay. I will be giving you more questions on bar graph when we send the notes to you. Next we are moving on to the next one, that is next way of representing. It is a circle graph. How to represent an information in a circle graph. A circle graph shows information in different parts. You can divide the circle into different parts, right? So shows information in different parts and put them together to form a whole. It put them together to form a whole. We know circle is a whole thing. So that circle is divided into different parts to show you the information. So you have a question over here for that. A circle graph shows the number of hours Anusha spends studying different subjects every week out of 12 hours. Out of 12 hours every week, how much time she is taken for each subject. So we will see what is a circle graph that is showing us. This is a graph that is shown. You can see the circle is divided into two halves first. First half it's max. So half of the hour she is taking it for max. Rest of the half hour is taken by science, English and social studies. That half is again divided into two. So half you divide into it becomes 1/4, 1/4 and 1/4 over here. So in this they have the first question, give the fraction shown by the circle graph for each subject. So for max we've got it is half, the fraction is half, because half of the circle is gone for max. Rest of the half is gone for science, English and social studies. But again you can see this half is being divided. So that half when it is divided, science becomes 1/4. It's just 1/4. The circle you divide, see, this you divide, it becomes half. You divide it again, it becomes 1/4. Each part becomes 1/4. So for science, what is the fraction? 1/4. Next 1/4 is shared by English and social studies. Next 1/4. So what will be the half of 1/4? This 1/4 is again divided into two equal halves. Half of 1/4 is 1/8. Children, you will learn how you are getting this 1/8 when you learn fractions. Okay, just keep in mind half of 1/4 is 1/8. When you learn fractions, there you will understand how you are getting this 1/8. So you can see first the circle is divided into two halves. Max, it is taking 1/2 half. Then again half of 1/2, that is 1/4. And again half of 1/4 is 1/8. Okay. So for English and social studies it is 1/8. Next, second question. How many hours does she spend studying maths every week? What was the total hours, children? Total hours was 12 hours. But maths, she is taking half of that. So, how many hours? Half of 12. How do you calculate half of 12, children? Remember, you have studied it last year. How do you calculate half of 12? 12 divided by 2. You get 6 hours. So, here the answer is 6 hours. So, for maths she is taking half of the hour, that is 6 hours. How much time is spent on science? What is the fraction for science? 1 by 4. So, calculate what is 1 by 4 of 12. What you get, children? 12 divided by 4. You have learned this last year, how to calculate fraction of a number. 12 divided by 4, that is 3 hours. So, 3 hours she is taking it for science. So, the answer is 3 hours. So, what about English and social studies? For that also she is taking 3 hours, because this is the next 1 by 4th part. Okay, here it is 1 by 4, for science is taking 3 hours. This is also 1 by 4, for English and social studies together she is taking 3 hours. So, you have a question for that. If she spends 3 hours on English and social studies, yes, she is spending 3 hours for English and social studies together, how much time does she spend on each? According to the figure you can see 3 hours, it is divided equally. For English and social studies the same time she is taking. So, what will be the half of 3, children? Half of 3 hours. How many hours is she taking? Together she will be taking 1.5 hours. Together she is taking 1.5 hours for each subject. 1.5 hours for each subject. Together she is taking 3 hours, but according to our figure we can see that 3 hours is divided equally. It is divided equally. So, she is taking 1.5 hours for each subject. Okay. So, once again I will tell you how we are getting the fraction. The whole circle is divided into half first. So, max it is taking half hours, 1 by 2. Then again it is divided into half. One portion is again divided into half. So, half of half is 1 by 4. This is 1/4, this is 1/4. This 1/4 is again divided into equal parts. So, half of 1 by 4 is 1 by 8. How we are getting this 1 by 8? You learn it when you are learning the fractions chapter. Okay. So, half of 1 by 2 is 1 by 4, half of 1 by 4 is 1 by 8. Just understand this much. Okay. So, this is a circle graph. This is how, as I told you, in a circle graph, you represent data in the form of parts. It is divided into different parts. Okay. Next, we are coming to the next type, that is a line graph. A line graph uses line segments. We have learned what is line segment, isn't it? It is at a fixed length, starting point and ending point. Uses line segments to show data, to show how data changes over a specific period of time, how the data is changing. So, I have a question for you over here. Look at the line graph showing practice hours spent by Amit last week on playing flute. He is practicing flute. So, how much time is taking? Complete the missing information table and answer the following. So, this is the line graph. You can see you have the horizontal line and the vertical line. And the horizontal line, they are showing you the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the vertical line, they are showing you the time, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, okay, in terms of hours. So, Monday he is practicing for 1 hour, Tuesday practicing for 2 hours, Wednesday 1 hour, Thursday 2 hours, Friday 1 hour, Saturday 1 hour, Sunday 2 hours. So, this is the information given in the form of lines. You put points wherever you need the information and you join that line points, you get line segments. So, this is how this is a line graph represented in the form of line segments. Now, we shall answer the questions over here. Complete the missing information. Weekdays, that is Monday to Sunday is given. How many hours? Monday we saw it is 1 hour, Tuesday 2 hours. So, write 1 hour, 2 hours, then again 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours. Then on Friday and Saturday he is taking the same time. So, 1 hour and Sunday again 2 hours. Okay. Which days did Amit increase his practice hours? Which are the days that is increased? On Tuesday he increased. One more I increased. Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday he has increased his practice time. So write Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. Then on which consecutive days Amit's practice time remained the same? Which consecutive days remained the same? Friday and Saturday. Consecutive days, one after the other. Friday and Saturday. Then, on which days did he practice for more than 1 hour? Same, more than 1 hour. That is Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. Okay. So this is how you represent a line graph, representing in the form of line segments. Then this is a circle graph representing in the form of parts, and this is a bar graph represented in the form of bars. So these are the other 3 ways that how you can represent data: bar graph, circle graph, line graph. Okay. Thank you.